Well, if you want to learn to weld, you just got to keep going at it until you learn. That's all I can say. I'm not a welder. I do like to tinker around with it. I'm like the DIY kind of guy. If something breaks, I like to have something where I can fix it. You know, like mowers, just little plates of metal or things that maybe, some things might be breaking around the house, you would want a welder. Now, buying a welder, I could see. Now, I've had a couple in the past that I've used over and over the years, and I kind of see that if you really want to get a welder, you know, depends on what you're going to use that welder for. If you want to use that welder for like big stuff, then you need a big welder, of course. But if you're just kind of tinkering around the house, you could probably pick up a 125. Harbor Freight has a really nice little one like this. It takes a small spool, and I understand it does a really good job. I've watched reviews and stuff on it, and people really like it. They also do different ones, like this is the 170. You know, the reason why I wanted the 170 is because I'm doing a little bit thicker metal. I wanted to go a little higher than somewhere around 3/16 of metal because I'm doing a frame. And I want to make sure it welds it. So, you know, the smaller welder might not weld that size of metal and weld it right. But we're all learning. We're learning how to run this, and this will be the first one I've ever had like this. Most of my two welders I did have was stick welders, and the stick welder is just a little bit different than what this is. Now this it'll run gas. You can put gas with it, and then also you know, just the regular flex core in it. Now I have, and it also has a dual power. So I call it, I guess you want to call it dual power. You can go 220 or 110. They do come with an adapter, so you can plug it in at 110. But if you're going to use 110 for something like this, now the 125 might not do it. I think it's just 120. I think that one is. I don't think it's got the 220 or 220 on it. But you might want to keep that plug in that 110 as close as you can to that breaker. Or if you're going to run it a little bit of a distance, I wouldn't run it too far, but to go ahead and run a bigger cord. So you would run something like a 10-2 wire extension cord, which I do carry that. I carry 12-2. Now that way you don't have to worry about, you know, blowing that breaker all the time. I think Harbor Freight's got some really nice tools. I think they've changed over the years, and I really like this little welder. It's been doing really good for the size metal. But like I said, if you're not tinkering with nothing big, you know, you just go ahead and buy one of the small ones and go ahead and use it. And maybe just learn off of that one and keep learning. Now, I noticed, like, if you look inside of here, of course, there's a whole gauge system in here. And it tells you what size metal and how to set the dials on the front here. It takes a little bit to learn it, kind of match it up. You just got to go over it for a little bit. Once you know, do a little practice, you'll understand exactly how your machine works. Right now I'm using 035 in here, and most common is 030. So if you want to start out with a smaller one, maybe go with the 030. The reason why I'm going 035 because I was told that it was a little bit better for frame. It doesn't heat up as much because it's a bigger wire. So it would well keep the frame where I'm welding won't temper, you know, won't heat it up, and, you know. So when I use it on the frame, it's not as hot. So that's what I was told. So it's been working really, really well. It's nice welder. It really is a nice welder. I am learning how to weld, and I noticed, you know, I did change the tip on here, and I put this plastic one on here. It just kind of sets in there, catches. There was another one that came out, and they told me to take it off so I could see my welds. That's the base thing. I mean, main thing is kind of see that weld. And then by using that weld, by just kind of touching it, and then, you know, a certain distance in between, you know, your product, I mean, your metal and your tip here, and then you can hear a sound. You listen to the sound, it'll start crackling, and it'll kind of smooth out, and you'll see a puddle of metal, you know, from this. And then you don't have to go back and forth real big like this. You can just kind of just pull it back, because, you know, your hand's going to shake anyways, and you're going to get part of that when you start out. I start out with a couple plates of metal, lay them together, and make sure your metal is really cleaned up too. I mean, it welds a lot better if you have no rust on it. So by using a grinder and using a wire brush, you know, I use one on my grinder, clean that metal, prep it up really good, and then go ahead and start welding. It seems to do a lot better job. But they do have this flex head. I'll probably end up buying. You can bend this. It's bendable, and it's really cool because if you're going to go weld up on top of a frame or someplace you can't get a hold of, you can actually bend this down, and then you can just kind of go right top and weld. I thought that was pretty neat. They do sell that, so they do sell some other stuff. This was around 5 something, like probably close to 600 bucks with taxes and everything. Plus I got a warranty on it for a couple years, just in case. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure because I don't use the welder all the time, and it might set someplace and not work. It might not. It might last forever. I don't know. All I know is you're going to use it for so many minutes. You got to let the machine cool down, okay? Because it gets hot. But other than that, good welder. Now on the back it does have a switch back here that you can turn to 2 different. You can turn to 120 or 120 or 220. You can turn it, the switch back and forth. So when you plug it in, so I mean you don't get the currents wrong and it don't run right. But other than that, it's a really nice little welder. Like I said, I can't afford some of them expensive ones because I don't do this all the time. If I did it as a professional and I knew how to weld, then yes. If I did it for other people, I just kind of do it for myself. So, but check out your Harbor Freight. There's a couple different welders. Like I said, I think a 125, 135 or something like that. This is a 107, 170, 200 or 220, and they're really nice welders. We got a lot of good reviews on them. So, okay, if this helps you out, I appreciate some comments down below. Let me know what you think, and hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate that. So you guys have a great day and be safe out there.